Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels of the Destiny Show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And also, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Trudy Williams. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to me to connect with like minded people. Now, if you've never met before, then my name is Ray, and I'm a guide who helps you remember your divine presence so that you can heal your past, create your future, and transform your present, to raise your consciousness, understand your spiritual path, and take charge of your destiny so you can spread your wings and soar. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I use future life progression, past life regression, angelic Reiki, guided meditations, and angel oracle cards to assist you in remembering why you are here, your spiritual path, and clarity on the next steps to take. I also offer a multidimensional virtual retreat, several transformational packages, a journey through lifetimes, a 6-week guided meditation series to help you gain the confidence, and various workshops. Now, each episode of the show covers various themes of your journey. A mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading, although this week's something different, with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Trudy Williams, who'll be talking about what it is multidimensional and how you can gain insights into your soul's great vision. Now, Trudy offers higher dimensional soul exploration and activations. She teaches how to embody the dualistic state of heaven on earth, how to be a multidimensional soul, having an abundant human experience, and answering questions such as: do you feel like you have a vision or message to share, but feel blocked, lack confidence in your innate wisdom, or do not fully realize the value and power of your unique frequency and experiences? Or do you feel stuck, overwhelmed, confused, or frustrated with where you are in life? If so, then these are signs that your life is not fully aligned to who you truly are. But you're not alone. This is the point of the ascension journey, a journey of making room to remembering who you are. These are experiences Trudy has been working through too, and she uses her experiences to support others on their journey. Now, accessing higher dimensional intelligence using mindful movement and energy healing and utilizing her business, spiritual, and life experiences, Trudy can help you gain insights into your soul's great vision, offering support and accountability you need as you expand, remember, and embody your multidimensional essence. Now, with testimonials such as just had the most incredible session with Trudy to uncover unknown blocks by traveling to a past life. Trudy is the most insightful, patient, and supportive guide, and I'm blown away by the transformation she's facilitated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Trudy is very knowledgeable and helped me achieve the highest potential in spiritual life. And after each session, I feel energized and empowered to go and take actions, both based in my intuition and my logic. So, without further delay, hello, Trudy, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for that introduction. That's amazing. I was like, is that me?
It is totally you. So before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Trudy and I want to be part of this conversation, so don't be shy. And Jenny has already said hi, and Marie Claire Bailey has also already said hi. So yeah, do leave questions, ask questions, leave comments, thoughts, and if we ask questions, do feel free to answer them. Just don't be shy, just answer those questions. So Trudy, why don't you tell us more about your journey and how we can be multidimensional whilst having a human experience?
Hi, thanks. So I should point out that when I started my journey, multidimensional wasn't my aim. That was kind of where I ended up. So I have a background in computing, and I started off as a computer programmer doing data migration for companies, which sounds rather dull. And I soon moved from that job into owning my own company. Unfortunately, the experience through my own company ended up with me feeling quite broken and soul burnt out. And whilst selling the company and being successful, I still had to find out why the whole experience was so bad. Why was I so exhausted? Why was I burned out? What had I done wrong? Why did I given up my soul to the experience I had. And that kind of started this whole very long 15, 20-year period where I just did lots of research and exploration of self. And while I started doing that, it was the normal stuff like our parents and our life path and our self-worth and all those great things. And then partway through, it suddenly started shifting, and I started getting messages more about the meaning of life, the Big Bang, Genesis, and star seeds, and all this other stuff. And I remember thinking, this is a bit odd, you know. These how is my issue with dating or jobs got anything to do with these aspects? But they never went away. So eventually, I gave up and said, it's time to embrace this. This voice is never going to stop. It wants me to know more. And I must admit that the day that I became more embracing of this voice, I found things just happened in a much more expanded way for me. And that's when I finally stepped into and started accepting my more spiritual side. And spiritual, we know, can have lots of different meanings of what spiritual means. But at first, I just dipped my toe in and came out of the spiritual closet and said, oh, yeah, by the way, I can do energy healing. And yeah, for friends, I've been doing this in the background. And yeah, I work with crystals. And gradually, people who had known me at this point, I was teaching dance. And people who knew me as a dancer were like, oh, that's why we like your energy. So that was kind of like evolving. And then the final part was when I had to come out of the multidimensional closet and actually start talking about that. And I was scared for being rejected. But in the background, I've been doing this kind of planetary energy work and being given messages on what needed to be upgraded on a galactic level. So I felt, how am I supposed to ever find my tribe, the people that I belong to, if I don't reveal all of who I am? And that's how I ended up announcing myself as multidimensional in a group, because that's where I met Ray. We both did Anne Jersh's Future Life Progression, and I just made a post one day going, anybody else getting future lives with clients where things are a little bit odd and a bit futuristic and otherworldly? And that's how we met. So that kind of led into that quite nicely.
It did, yes. You know, future life progression is really an amazing way of taking people into the future. And when the multidimensional stuff comes in as well, it kind of like, you know, really enhances that experience, I think, and gives it another dimensional level, a high where you can look down and it feels a lot more like a calling
Mhm.
type thing.
And that's what started. So I kind of like, I literally said to whatever this voice was, I said, right, I give in, I surrender to you. I am going to do whatever you tell me for the next year. I will follow every bit of advice you give me. I will do the things you want me to do and see where it goes. And I started that, like that surrender in 2020, because I'd had a big message just before the pandemic came in that I didn't believe and I didn't write. And then when the pandemic happened, I thought, right, that's a big slap in the face that I have to now start sharing what they're telling me. They're not going to be quiet. They're going to keep pushing. And as I started that journey, as I said, the first one was the spiritual sharing. And then it started telling me that I had to help people find their great vision. It wasn't just vision, it was a great vision. And they were showing me like imagery of like when the time when this kind of pandemic kind of situation happened last in the 1870s, where the energies were all shifting, and where people were visionary enough at that point to build things like the Eiffel Tower. That has no sense. It's an artistic thing, but yet there was this expression that needed to be shared. And it was telling me that that's what we had to find inside ourselves, was that unique frequency that we felt that we needed to share at this time. So that was my first kind of exploration, because then I was like, but how do you teach somebody to find out this stuff that they don't know about themselves? And they answered archetypes. So I started then teaching people to techniques like future life progression, taking them into the future, using body testing, using divination techniques with oracle cards, basically everything that we could to find out more about themselves and to compare themselves with different archetypes, from numerology to astrology to Myers-Briggs to animal totems. We just literally threw it all in the pot and said, let's see what comes out at the end. And the aim was to come out with some clues, at the very least, of what our great vision was at this time.
Yeah, that you know that's kind of like a brilliant way of sort of like doing it. You know, just put everything in a pot, just see what it's like alchemy really, and just seeing what you create. what you crave from it. And Shihara sort of like says, well, I need to step into this multidimensional state more, excited to hear more. And Marta says, hello, everyone. Kelly Jane says hi, and Shihara says, coming out of the spiritual multidimensional closets. I love it.
Exactly. It's I should say, anybody that's ready to do that, it's actually better out of the closet than in the closet. So the sooner you take that step, as they say, everything you want is the other side of that fear. And for me, I've just felt less dense and less heavy, not having to hide that part and make those decisions with everyone I meet, like, how do I word this so they don't know that I'm doing multidimensional work, but they still get the message? I've taken away that filter that I'd put in front of me so that I can now communicate more directly. But that didn't happen overnight. It took baby steps of practice. And like that day I shared that message into the group, it was like hit and run. I pressed share and then I hid. It's like, oh my God, I've just told people I do weird stuff. Now I've got to hide. So that was so cool that you responded.
Not weird, it's unique. So Shihara says, is this a more in-depth method of what's known as living in the end result?
I think it's a more expanded rather than in-depth. I think, so what we've been seeing recently is that so sharing the vision stuff was one part of what I did. But then this year, what I was getting more of is that we need to shift into everybody acting like a healer, living a life like a healer, not healing other people, but having access to all the healing skills that are currently only held for times when we're desperate and integrating them into our everyday. I want to see people like doctors and lawyers who are using head, heart, gut testing, who are learning to sense energies and feel energies and react to energies and learning to be the alchemist of energies. Even all the manifestation that we've been taught to do, it's fine having all the words, but the extra dimension of that is the feeling and the energy frequency that we create. So when I was going through all that stuff, there was this big opening in about February time where we were all being told that there was now a new level of the Akashic Records opening up, and that this new department, if you want to call it that, was holding more of our multidimensional self. It would have more of our life lessons and our purpose, because now we were ready to embrace that side of us. So if we've done the Akashic Records and we think we already know our life path from our past and our current lifetimes, then this is a more expanded version of that, and it's going to take us to the next level. And it's part of this ascension process. And for me, 5D is just one of the levels. We often have a foot in many different levels at any time. We're not ever in just one. But let's assume we're all going to move up to the 5th dimension. Then we have to, because I also do embodiment, so it's not just about spiritually understanding in our mind or feeling and the energies, but it's about bringing it into our body and then taking action in the real world by creating businesses or altering the way we interact with people in parenting or friendships or whatever we're doing, is bringing it through and birthing it into the 3D. And if we want to bring that down, then accessing this Akashic record that's opened up is going to give us the clues on our skill set. So if I take an example of, like one of the girls here has done my courses, Marta. So she knew she wasn't happy with what she was doing, but we then found that Feng Shui was her thing. But the 5D version of that was time traveling Feng Shui. Yeah, so that's the kind of expansion that we're taking. So it's adding that extra awareness of this higher concepts of the spirituality, of energy, of manipulation energy, and time travel, and using all these skills basically together to create this life on earth. Because I feel like we're here with a human body for a purpose. We're here to feel and to sense and enjoy the sensuality of the human body. And often as sensitives, we're too trapped in our pain or our struggles or feeling everybody else's energies. And it's time we turned that around now and became the empowered sensitive. And the feeling I got was, the Keystone species principle. They did this experiment with some wolves, and they put the wolf back into the environment, and they found the whole ecostructure changed, because when they took the wolf out, the wolf happened to be a Keystone species, which meant that when the wolf came back in, there were less deer, the rivers went back to normal, there was more grasses in places where they'd been perished. So all this stuff was restored to its natural order because this animal had been reintroduced. And if you think about it, we've given up our spiritual side. We've given up, even the church, if the church was our spiritual sanctuary, even that's not so popular now. But we give up our priestesses, we give up our priests, we gave up the spiritual wisdom of the elder of the community. And we've all been operating without that anchor into our lives. And something like this, what's been happening the last 2 years, is really about needing to go back to those techniques, because the people who have survived these last 2 years in a slightly more thriving way than just surviving were the sensitives, those that already been through the questioning and the dark night of the soul and coming out the other side. And they're the people now that we need to make more bold and braver to actually step up and start showing who they are, because they have amazing gifts for the world right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we have here, Jenny was saying, haha, I feel that. She felt the energy. And Shihara says, wow, yes, the merging of all healing fields is desperately needed. Totally. And she also says, wow, all of this truly resonates with me, which is absolutely brilliant. Shihara. And she loves time traveling feng shui. Oh my God.
Yeah, we'll follow Marta, because she's going to be leading this, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, Mary Claire Bailey says, sounds amazing. And Marta actually does say, yes, amazing to use different skills to create a magical life for ourselves and others. Thank you. And Marta, you are more than welcome to put your details in the comments if you want, so people can connect with you if they want to have a go at time traveling feng shui. Please do. You're more than welcome to put your contact details in the comments. And Mary Claire Bailey says, gone through my shadow, my work, mediumships come on leaps and bounds, but feel stuck.
Yeah, I think most of us have got to that level. And it's kind of like one of the questions that's been coming up for me is like, how does this new energetic layer work with what we have existing? What the existing energy structures and things. And just over the last few weeks, we've seen new Kundalini energies coming in. We've seen new chakra systems reforming. So we've been tuning in actively, trying to answer these questions to see what we want to be the leaders of what's coming and help people then step into it more quickly. So I'm actively working with a group of ladies in Canada who are helping me sort of see what the future is going to bring and how we can start integrating that now. But I'd be curious to ask, so when people think of multidimensional, what do people think? Is that if they put a heart in, if they love the idea, or maybe a sad face if they're not so keen on it?
Or a question mark is,
Oh,
if you're
mark.
like,
yeah.
if you're like,
what is that?
I'm still not sure what multidimensional is.
Because I have a question.
Exactly. So yeah. So yeah, please do answer that question in the comments. So Shihara is definitely love him.
Yes, and whether you're listening now or later, I'll come back and check. So definitely put hearts and question marks. But yeah, because some people, when they hear multidimensional, start thinking, that's a little bit far-fetched. But if you look at the opposite, which is, if I called you a one-dimensional person, you'd be really upset, wouldn't you?
Mm.
So often we learn what something is by learning what it's not. So if one-dimensional is really boring and you think that's not something, then what's wrong with multidimensional? And even like in business, they use that term all the time. And it just means multiple layers and multifaceted is all it really means. So all we're doing is saying that we start off by exploring our multidimensionality in our everyday life, like what limits has our parents put on us or our society, what glass box are we stuck in basically in this life, and we start peeling those layers off, and that's the first layer. The second layer might be to look at your life path and, are you following society norms on what job you're doing? Are you following that you must work hard in order to create money to survive? And those sort of rules of life path then have to be peeled away. And then the next level is, well, let's take this up one notch and say, okay, so let's assume if I was completely free, that I didn't do what I should do or ought to do, and I decided to try and be who I really am, what would I do? And often that's the question. You can go right back to your childhood and say, what did you want to be when you were a child? Because as children, we don't have all that stuff on us. So we're ready to kind of answer playfully these questions. And I would even argue that because when we were children, the world was so different, some of our dream jobs or fantasies or make-believe friends that we had might actually have been future jobs, just that they hadn't arrived at that time. So everybody thought it was foolish. But really, we had the foresight and the imagination to see into the future and see where we were going with this.
Yeah.
And if we could have followed that path, imagine what we could be now.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I often say to people, what did you enjoy doing as a child? What lit you up? Go back and do that stuff again and see what it triggers in your memory now. And we've had loads of hearts. So everyone has kind of like put
Into multidimensional. Cool.
Yep. And Shihara says it's so funny because in my angelic work, I ask for changes to be enacted through across all dimensions and iterations. So of me, so this is so timely. Yeah, and it is. When I work with angelic Reiki, it's integrated through all times, dimensions, but it also into the here and now because we have to remember that even when we're working multidimensionally, we still have to ground that into our human existence. Even when we get to 5D, we're still not at those higher multidimensional. So we still need to bring the energy and ground it into 5D to be able to exist on this earth at this time.
Exactly. No, well said. That's good to remind people because everybody thinks we're going to ascend to this fifth dimension and then disappear in some form, or that the humanness will dissolve, but it's not. It's actually a marriage. We're not ascending, we're meeting the energy. We're actually inviting that energy into our physical body and embodying it, so we are that heaven on earth walking on the earth. Not that we're ascending up out of earth and into something else. It's bringing that down onto this plane. And I think we sometimes sort of are so quick as sensitives to want to leave this planet because it is an intense place to be. It's a dense place to be, especially if we have memory.
Oh, we've kind of like the energy coming in there, and we've kind of like lost Trudy for a second, so she might need to.
Blended.
We actually lost you.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
You froze.
Yeah, I've noticed a couple of times I froze and I timed it wrong that time. But yeah,
Yeah.
I froze. Sorry, I was time jumping. I'm back.
You're back. You're back again. It was a nice posing picture, though. It was kind of like, yeah, it was a lovely picture. So, what were you saying in that lovely picture that we saw?
I was saying it's about bringing that 5D down into the physical. It's not about us leaving the physical. It's about having the physical upgrades to allow more of that 5D essence into our body, so we can literally feel like that all the time and still be in our human bodies. And that's the ultimate goal, is getting that balance. And that's multidimensional in itself. If you think about meditations, when you close your eyes and you go off and you travel the astral realm and the cosmic realm and you come back, I try to encourage with my meditations is that we stay in the physical body before we go and do that. So then we feel with our bodies. It's not just our minds visualizing what we see, but it's about feeling our bodies experiencing it as well, so that we can start marrying those two things.
Yeah. And Shihara says, when I was a kid, I wanted to have healing powers and help all the heroes I saw on TV. And now I'm kind of like on that track.
Cool.
Absolutely brilliant. And Marta says, when I was little, I wanted to play with my tarot deck non-stop.
Excellent. And these are things we gave up. But what superhero's name would you have then? That's what we need to know. We want to know what her superhero name would be for this superhero that she's going to be. But joking aside, we do play that game in my group. We say, what is your goddess power? And each of us claims like a frequency that we're here to share. So mine is divine intelligence. Because I did artificial intelligence and computing and machine learning and things, it kind of fitted that I was helping now bring in this soul wisdom, this multidimensional soul wisdom. So I'll ask you first, Ray, what's your goddess?
What's my goddess? Oh, my goddess is just literally touching you and you remembering your divine presence.
So divine presence, beautiful. That's a good touch. So what about everybody else? Have they got a goddess one? We'll leave them think about that and they can share them as they think. But, everything's about frequency, especially in a multidimensional way. It's about frequency, connecting to who we are. And to be multidimensional, when you finally get to the higher realms, it's an expanded state and a very content state and a very knowing, like divine timing, how things will work, where the resources will come from. It's very integrated and very calm. So it's not like a hopefully buzzy kind of feeling. It is, because that's so different to life, but it's much calmer and much more practical than people might think. And when I take people into that realm and take them to visit different parts of themselves in this realm, the main feeling is that contentness. And like you said, it's rising above the ego and the everyday he said, she said arguments, and looking down from a higher perspective and suddenly going, oh, that's what that's about. And that's why I'm doing this, because we're not here to ascend. We're here to have experiences. And as part of our experiences, we are just excited to know, well, what's our next? It's like a fairground ride. By the end of it, we're going to learn about ourselves, and we've got to decide which rides we're going to go on to get there. And each of those rides is fun. We don't try and skip the rides to get to the end. We want to have all those experiences. And that's what being multidimensional is. But it's that full expansion, that full return of your vastness of who you are down into the physical body.
Yeah, and I have to admit, I love carousels. I literally am like a child on a carousel. Yeah, if I see a carousel anywhere, I've got to pay. I've got to go on it, even if it's full of kids. I've got to go on it. And as I'm going round, I'm sort of going, hey, waving to everyone. I just love our own carousels. And Shihara says, "Ooh, great question. Have to think about mine. She loves my one." Marta says she would be goddess of antiquity,
Mm-hmm.
which is lovely.
Female
Oh,
version of Indiana Jones.
yeah, I like that. And Shiara says, my superpower is reminding people that they are love on the deepest level.
Divine love.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. And that's what we are, And the thing is, we think that to be successful in this world, we have to be educated or teaching people things. But actually, part of our multidimensional skill set is that we emanate. Each of us is a unique frequency, and we're all part of that jigsaw puzzle. And if one of us isn't in place, the whole lot falls down. So the more we all step into our unique areas, and yes, there's lots of different loves, but we all have our unique version of that. And as we step into that role and sort of embrace that's who we are, we then practice building up as much of that energy in our bodies as we can, so we can share it out to the world. And if that's all we ever do is emanating that frequency, we've already created so much change, so much change.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jenny has to go, and I hope there's a replay to watch us. Yes, Jenny, this is recorded, so you literally just go back into YouTube and you can watch the replay. That's absolutely fine. So you won't miss anything or what we're going to be doing later. And Donna is here and she says, hi, Ray and Trudy. Hi,
Hiya.
Donna. And Mary Claire Bailey says, mine is making people feel calm and at ease.
Yeah, all
So,
special skills that we need, aren't they?
exactly. So, Donna, the question we asked was, if you had a special goddess power, a superhero goddess power, what would it be? Is there anything from your childhood that would make that? Mine was helping people remember their divine presence. Marie Claire obviously is making people feel calm at ease. Shihara was divine love. Marta was goddess of antiquity, and Trudy's was
Divine intelligence. So accessing your soul wisdom.
exactly. And she also says, loving your goddess and Trudy and your combined energy with Ray.
Well, we've got a show you, and thank you. That's a perfect link for a story that I want to tell.
It is, isn't it?
Divine timing.
As always, everything is divine timing.
Exactly. So, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'll start. So, as Trudy says, she put into the group, Future Life Regression group, about multidimensional, and I answered because obviously I kind of like work in that kind of way anyway. So we often do an exchange on each other, because in the group, that's what we often do. If we want to go into the future to gain insights or clarity about what we need to do now, people in the group exchange. So Trudy and I did an exchange. And my exchange, I wanted to get some more clarity on the spiritual retreat that I plan on running in the future. And I wanted to get a bit more clarity about where it was and how it's going to be. And I ended up going into a different dimension, It literally, I ended up standing on top of a beautiful mountain. It had green grass, there was woodland behind me, and as I looked out, there was just this beautiful mountain range that had pinks, purples, golds. It was so breathtaking. It was kind of like Shangri-La, Nirvana, that kind of feeling, that kind of energy. And out of the blue, I just started speaking a different language. It's only a short piece, but it was really powerful. I'm like, oh my God, Trudy, that is sort of like, well, where did that come from? And it was just so amazing. Um, and so it's kind of like I'm going to not just have my physical retreat somewhere, but I'm also going to be doing virtual retreats, taking people onto a virtual retreat, which is something that I've started doing.
I heard in
Um,
your introduction. I was excited to hear that.
Yes, and I've had some great feedback with where people have gone. I had one lady who went back to Lemuria before the Lemurians came to Earth, and described what happened on Lemuria, and there was an issue with somebody else there that had translated. They had issues in this life, so they kind of like explored Lemuria, and they changed that. Somebody else met several guides and different energy beings and got wisdom and clarity to actually ground here on earth and
Mhm.
work with their heart. So people are having so many wonderful experiences, and it's different each time that somebody
Exactly.
somebody goes there. And I called it Corel.
Not even spell
That's
that.
Yeah, that's which is Correl, which just it was just well, what am I going to call it? And that's what came to me, and it's a beautiful name. Don't
Mm.
know what I'm going to call this journey, what I take people into yet. I'm still trying to work out um, what I want to what it wants to be called. But I'm sure it will be something, whether it's supposed to be, whether it's a journey into divine
I
dimensions.
thought divine presence is what we were going to go with.
Yeah, divine presence, but with a little twist, possibly. Kind of like
Cool.
it's my
Cool.
mind kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like going with that. So Donna says her goddess powers have been clarity and vision through their problem times.
Nice.
Beautiful.
We've got some
Uh,
amazing goddesses here tonight.
we have, and Marta says, "I love this visualization, Ray. It is absolutely amazing." And and Shihara says, "A beautiful vision, Ray. And when you experience it, it's amazing." And Trudy's actually been there. I
I've
actually
been
took
there.
Trudy there.
Because then when we did the swap, it was like, where do you want to go? Well, duh, I want to go to Corral and see what's there for me. So yeah, that was really amazing. When she started singing, I've never been one particularly for light language, but it was so powerful. I was in tears just listening to her. It was so amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
But the great thing about that, though, is this is another example of 3D to 5D. Like you saw your retreat being in a 3D forest with houses and stuff. And I must admit, the first time we went there, I was like, that doesn't feel big enough. Like I said, I have access to this soul wisdom, this beyond. And I thought, no, that's not big enough. So the second time we went back and I said, right, do you willing to kind of let go of that vision a bit and explore? Because sometimes we get attached to visions. You wasn't let go and like go a little bit further away. And yeah, when we landed in this corral, it was just, she described it so quickly. It was like it's been waiting to be discovered. It was there all along, just waiting. And it kind of answered the questions why you never saw anything more in the 3D, because it was waiting for you to go into the 5D, into the higher realms and discover it there. And this is another like perfect example of how we can work in the 5D. Our work doesn't have to be in the old 3D, the old style. Who says that a retreat can't be this energetic, visiting these energetic sources of energies? Because that's what multidimensional is. It's all about moving up and discovering new energy frequencies and then learning how to use them in our lives, learning how to weave them into our lives. And you've just sourced a complete new energy source.
yeah,
And whatever you do in there is going to be embedded in the heart of wherever that energy is. And we may never find words for it because our language is limited, which is probably why you sung it in light language, because that's the only way we could name that energy and that frequency. to experience it. And it's mind-blowing when you get to these, like, they're big aha moments. It's like, finally, like, I kind of knew that. Why did I not know that? But I do know it. And that lid flaps off, and all of a sudden the excitement to life comes back, and it's like, how am I going to explore this? How am I going to use this? And I must admit, it doesn't stop there. This is just the start. They'll give you a few months to get used to this level. And then
Yeah.
when they think you're taking it seriously enough, they'll just throw a few more spanners in the work in the forms of other energetics. And then you'll learn how to use those. And then you'll learn how to use the next lot and the next lot. And it's constantly evolving. And this is what I mean by, it's like, as our access to our multidimensional self is becoming more available, we have to go through physical upgrades to accept more of it. So you've got one download. Next, we have to upgrade the chakras, the energy system of the body, with the next wave of energy, and the next download comes, and we go up again, and the next download comes. And I kind of described it the other day as, in computing terms, if you look at the old computers and how much fitted into that box, it was a huge box. All that stuff now fits into our phone.
Mm.
Yeah, because the technology got upgraded to allow more to fit into a smaller space. And that's what's happening with us as humans right now. Our bodies, our DNA, our chakra system, our energy system, all adapting, ready to take more of this multidimensional energy, so we can have experiences like you had and find that 5D energetic source that is our unique birthright to work with at this time. And like I said, not even in a holistic way, but whether it be taking it into school when you're teaching kids or through your office, you bring that energy everywhere you go.
Exactly. And Kelly Jane, who has experienced it, said it was an amazing experience.
Ah, excellent.
Yeah, Kelly's journey was lovely. And Cheryl says, "Oh, energy in my head like whoosh when Trudy spoke about being moved by the light singing." Yeah,
I'm
that that
hoping we
that
got a little bit today.
if it depends. I never know. That and
I know.
that's the beauty of it.
Mhm.
You know, when I'm guiding people into Corel, might have some kind of language, might not be some kind of language. I don't know, but Yara says constant ascension. I love it and needed to hear this. Beautiful. And Marta says, yep, good comparison with computers. Yeah, that is a very good comparison.
Yeah,
And that,
it's been quite hard getting this all into words, because all this we've been downloading since February, and that's like part of why we communicate with each other, is to practice what we're seeing and trying to practice ways to describe it. But yeah, what I'm seeing is so exciting. And it's all because there's so much about, it's kind of like when we were birthed onto this planet, we came through a stargate. And often when we call ourselves star seeds, what we're really saying is that was the gate we birthed through. Because I think we've all been, everybody, every star seed, every nation, every cosmic being, we've been everywhere. We've experienced it in many ways, or most of us. And then we come through a particular stargate down onto Earth, and we might resonate a bit more with that stargate. But coming through the stargate meant not all of us could come through. We had to leave parts behind. It's like packing to go on holidays, where you had to leave the bulk of stuff at home. Well, now the gate's opening bigger. We can bring more stuff. Our luggage allowance has been increased.
I like that. I like that. I like luggage allowance,
Me too.
especially if you're bringing back a singing bowl from India. Yeah, I didn't realise that would take my suitcase a little bit over. We've got group. We've got. Does it fit in with the group? Oh, wait, brilliant.
Yeah, because that's not something you put on your head. It's my hat. I'll wear it on the plane.
Exactly. Yeah, it was packed right in the middle of my suitcase.
Ay, ay,
So I'm not going to be able to get that
ay.
out. And Shihara says, "Oh, I love it, flying light class."
Yeah. Oh yeah, so much more to come in. And
Oh,
it's playful,
absolutely.
it's about that experience and experimenting, and finding a space to do that can be a little tough, and finding a tribe. But hopefully you'll find that in the comments today, and whether it's now or later, the people commenting are part of our tribe. They wouldn't be here otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might want to start communicating with each other. And again, if Marta puts her details
Mhm.
in, then you might want to check out what she's doing. And
Right.
in fact, if anyone here, if you're working sort of like this, put your details in the
Mm.
comments.
Hook up.
um because you might resonate with somebody who's watching this now at a later date, and you may just be that person that's going to help them on their next level, on their next step.
It's all like, despite me talking all this multidimensional and starseed stuff, on a human level, it's about building communities where we can learn. So when I sort of looked into my future about what I was building, was I building a school was my question, like a school of education on how to be more human with this multidimensional energy bedded into us. And I said, no, you are building education manifested, which, it's always good to have a really cryptic message.
Of
But what
course.
I understood it to mean was that it's not about sending somebody to school where they learn theory and exams and then come up with a qualification. This is about an embodied living it, experiencing a multidimensional living, a higher consciousness living. And we can only do that by sharing our stories and by us practicing them and then sharing what we're doing and letting it, like a tuning fork, vibrate and ripple out amongst others to try it too. Because I'm sure there's lots of us that want to live this way, but feel still trapped by the old system. And what I'm hoping today's conversation will do is at least make you think of exploring ways to break out of that and bringing more of that essence of that makes you happy, that makes your heart sing, that drives you into excited child play on, like, what can I do with this energy today? And how can I use this to help everybody? And also, don't forget, always make sure you ask for rewards. If you're doing this kind of work, you deserve a reward. It's your unique frequency, fair exchange. So always use that as well, because that's part of the embodiment. We have to live on this human existence at the same time.
We do. I mean, there will be a point in the future where we don't have to, but at the moment we do have to.
Exactly. And it'll change into whatever exchange it'll change into. But there's still that element of, like, you have to satisfy your 3D needs, not just your spiritual needs. It's an infinite kind of feedback loop to make sure the two work together.
Exactly. And Shihara says, I catch Ray live at the most synchronous times. Soul Tribe, hashtag Soul Tribe. Absolutely. And Sue says, yep, we're all here for each other.
Cool.
Totally. And Shihara says, yep, so much truth in what Trudy is saying. So, as you know, normally about this point in the show, I offer to do a card reading or a mini guided meditation, or my guest gets to do something. Well, Trudy and I kind of like going to do something a little bit different.
We're multidimensional.
So we're going to give you a chance to experience multidimensional if you're up for it.
So go on, encourage her. She's going to take you to Corral. So say yes, say yes, say yes. Say yes.
Yes, if you want a quick visit to Corral, you're more than welcome to come along with us. Shiara is definitely a yay. Oh, and so is Marta. So I think that's kind of like a way to go. Oh yeah, Marie Claire. I think they want to go.
I don't blame them. The travel destination today is about to launch from platform.
Exactly. Yes, we're off going to Corral. Oh, yep. And Sue is definitely saying yes as well. So, shall we start?
Yeah. So do you want to take them there, or do you want me to start?
I'll let you start.
Okay.
Because I'll let you start because how I'm doing it is slightly different, which is when I'm doing it by myself. And so
Well, you can still do that, because all I'm going to do is, once we get there, then I'll find a portal and take them into the cosmos instead.
okay, cool. So everyone watching, just close your eyes. And as you do so, take a deep breath in, and on the out breath, just release everything that doesn't need to be in this space. Take another deep breath in, and on the out breath, just release everything that doesn't need to be here. And just allow your breathing to fall into its natural rhythm. Every in-breath relaxing you more and more, and every out-breath just releasing everything that doesn't need to be here. And I want you to see, feel, imagine or know a beautiful golden light above your head. It's a beautiful golden light of peace and relaxation. And just allow this beautiful golden light to move down into your physical body. Let it fill you up completely Every single cell, membrane, muscle, DNA, sinew of your whole body just being filled with this beautiful relaxing energy. And just think about relaxing your whole body. But when you think about relaxing, so you will relax. Give yourself permission and start to relax. And you feel your head start to relax as that relaxation moves down your face, into your neck, down into your shoulders, down into your arms. That relaxation moving into your upper body, your stomach, all the muscles in your back relaxing. As this relaxation moves down into your hips, your pelvis, your buttocks sinking you deeper down where you are sitting, all the way down into your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles and your feet. And you are so beautifully relaxed now. And I want you to see, feel, imagine or know a beautiful staircase. A beautiful staircase with 10 wide, safe, comfortable steps leading down from your brain into your heart. And in a moment, you're going to walk down these steps from 10 to 1, each descending number taking you deeper into relaxation, deeper into your heart. So start walking down those stairs now. 10, going deeper down the stairs. 9, deeper down the stairs. 8, more and more relaxed. Deeper down the stairs. 7, going deeper down the stairs. 6, deeper down the stairs. 5, feeling so relaxed. Deeper down the stairs. 4, going all the way down the stairs. 3, 2, 1, and you step off that bottom step and you stand in front of your heart. And your heart has got beautiful folded flower petals on it of the most beautiful colour or colours. And as you stand there connecting with your heart, those petals start to open, revealing their beautiful colour and a beautiful pearl right there in the centre of your heart. And this pearl is your gateway. So step through that pearl now and find yourself on a platform staring out into the universe, that beautiful multi-universe where you can see stars and galaxies, comets, black holes, that vastness of the universe, that darkness, those bright sparkles, those colours. And it's so amazing. And you feel so at one with this vast, vast universe. And in a moment, you're going to take a journey to Corral. Now, next to you is a cloak, the cloak of the universe, that if you want, you can place around and over your head, just so you can travel to Corral, where the only people that will see you will be yourself, myself, Trudy, or any beings of 100% pure light and love who are here to help you. So if you wish to put on that cloak, put that cloak on now. And as you do, you notice coming towards you a beautiful diamond rainbow. And as it gets closer, you notice that it's a bridge, a moving bridge that's coming towards the platform. And when it reaches the platform, you step onto this beautiful diamond bridge and you feel so safe and secure. as this bridge starts to move, taking you towards Corral. And it feels so safe here as you look at the vast universe. And before you know it, you have reached Corral, this beautiful Corral, and you may find yourself on top of the mountain. You may find yourself at a landing stage somewhere on the mountain. But this is where you are meant to be in Corral. This is your place. And I want you now to start wandering around. And as you wander around, Trudy is going to guide you to a beautiful portal that you may find here.
Well, before we go, I think we need a blessing. If you're feeling that language coming through, for them to hear the essence of Corral.
Okay. Oceano te no kirario shell, isi bonito, isha califantianto bi, esi autoritano, autorino, essa bidontriei.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And as we all receive that energy, we feel it permeating through our bodies and our bones, right down to our cellular level. And you know that something special has happened now and you've been upgraded. You've been upgraded so you can see more of your multidimensional essence. And somewhere in this realm, maybe it'll be a cave entrance into the mountain, or a doorway, or just a window. You get attracted down towards this portal that you know is going to lead you somewhere special. There are many dimensions in this cosmic realm, in this quantum realm, each with different messages and experiences for you to have. And as you approach the door, you're excited and anticipating what's behind the door. When you're ready, you reach up and you open the doorway, and it might be a light portal that'll spin you down like a helter-skelter slide into another dimension, the one that is the most perfect dimension for you right now. And as you land in this dimension, just notice where you are. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What's all around you? And this is only a short visit, so I just want us to sort of sense into the feeling of being somewhere different and seeing through eyes with a new perception. And you just sense, perceive, smell, or an inner knowing of where you are. Your soul has brought you here to experience an essence part of you that was lost in time and space. And if you're willing now to call that part back to you, then do so. Notice how it travels back to you. Do you have to pick up something off the floor? Does it appear as a cloud or a star? As you reach out to pick up this part of your soul, you imagine that you can wash it and cleanse it, either by bathing it in light or allowing the stars and the galaxy emissions to just emanate their cleansing energy across this part of your soul, returning it back to its pure essence of who you are. And when you feel that it's completely cleansed, then notice how you'd like this part to be returned to the whole of you. Do you wish it to go into your heart or into your third eye? And know that there is a divine intelligence in this part of your soul that you were missing, that was preventing you from moving forward in your life. And that as you integrate this back into you, you're now being given this new knowledge, this new soul wisdom, this new guidance. Let that part absorb back into you. You can drink it, you can bathe it, you can imagine it going in as a light beam. Maybe a word, maybe a symbol comes to you now. Just remember it for later. And now we come back through the portal But before we go back to Corel, we're just going to stop off in a place that's in the middle of the galaxy. And I want you to see yourselves being rocked in a hammock, like the baby of the universe. You're all within your own heart center, which is the cosmos within you, which is your pure, multidimensional essence for you to explore. See yourself chilled out, maybe with a cocktail, swinging in the hammock, and just feel every planet and every star and every galaxy is shining down its light on you. Because it's proud of you. It's proud of all the challenges you've overcome and the things that you've achieved. And it's excited that you're willing to explore more and to delve deeper into who you are. But it also knows you need some courage to step out of the box and be braver. And as you lie there being swung backwards and forwards, feeling like this baby with these parents who love you so much, you feel that courage building up inside you. Unfortunately, this is only a short trip today, so it's time to jump out of our hammock. You can bring your cocktails with you. And we travel back down the portal back into Corel, where we meet up with Ray again. And Ray, do you have another blessing for us?
Ishenon talitalo bashalat halkitatu narajamba diandoti datita shadetali firpota patikonto dat ludito. Isopita padichina tatalote padupadinkedito telefono teredo. Isipora talijo saraputo de donti shatati calato. Itode padona shatete. Ipoteta follow potato. Isa candito dalla chonata polopito tuturu. Tupitutu shito patata. Condidara tochota. Pitol.
We feel those words and that frequency and the harmonics of that running through our bodies. We ask permission of this beautiful landscape to pick a flower. This is your second gift. The energy of Corel will remain in this flower to remind you of your journey here today. And now it's time to come back to our physical, bringing our gifts with us and returning back down across the rainbow bridge, the diamond bridge, back to the platform outside our pearl. Back into our heart center, bringing that energy all the way back, right back into your heart, into the 3D, knowing that you brought back some soul wisdom and some new frequencies of energies from the Corel and the blessings that Ray has given us. And as you bring yourself back into your body, just start to notice how you are sitting, the bed underneath you. And we count back from 5 to bring you back into the present, back into the now. 5, wiggle your toes and fingers. 4, just be aware of where you're sitting, get that kind of feeling of being back where you started the journey. 3, start moving and stretching. It's good now to feel the embodiment by actually physically stretching your arms and legs and feeling your physical 3D body expand to make room for the energy that you just received. 2, you feel yourself growing and expanded in the physical. You're starting to become more and more present. Eyes are starting to open. 1, back in your space, back in your time.
And welcome back. And just take your time to come back into the present, into the here and now. And if you want to share in the comments your experience, then please do. You don't have to do it now. You can do it a little bit later. But quite often, if you put your experience down, you tend to sort of like integrates more because you're putting it into words, into this dimension, into the here and now, and allowing everyone else to hold that space for you to and you're holding the space for them. So we're holding the space for everybody who writes their experience down, how they felt the journey to be. Amata says, wow, amazing. It is. And when I went into the portal, I went down. Now, for those of you of a certain age in the UK, you might remember Jamie and his magic torch. And he used to go with his dog and he used to go down the helter skelter. Jamie and his magic torch. Anyway, so I literally was going down a helter skelter, which and and I need to get myself a kaleidoscope, something from my childhood.
That would be cool.
And hence now I know why I like geometry, because I loved those when I was a child. So Marta says, so powerful, the light language and visualization. Thank you. You're welcome. And Claire says, well, amazing. I had a fairy, felt like it was giving me my childlike magic spark back. Oh, that's
Nice.
absolutely amazing. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for sharing, Mary Claire and Marta. Mary Claire, light language is beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, I never know. And we're calling it light language, but I don't even know if it is light language. It's just,
It's
it's,
harmonics and frequencies. That's the way I
mm,
relate to it, I think,
yeah,
because we can't put into words the codes and the templates and the blueprints that the cosmic realm now is offering us. So yeah, it's a harmonic that you're singing into play that impacts. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Harmonics, resonates more than light language. I think because it is different harmonics. It's not the same light language that is coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And Marta says, had an eagle come to me and a firelight to reconnect with.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, whilst you're all coming back and writing down your experience, Trudy, do you have any insights or thoughts or words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
I think if there's one takeaway from this, and I'd be interested in knowing what your takeaways are if you've got time to enter that, but the one takeaway I would like you to have is that there is a new energetic realm opening up, and it's our opportunity to explore it at every opportunity, basically, to get out there and to ask questions. I think the best way to approach the multidimensional realms that are opening up is to be curious and ask lots of questions and see what the answers come to, because we could all be giving, like, even crystals are changing and what they represent and what meaning they have. So don't doubt yourself. This is your power now, they're coming into you. And if what you see, it doesn't match up with what everyone else is saying, it just means that you're seeing a different angle and a different perception, which is important right now that we share.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been doing a 7-week chakra workshop, and everyone is connecting with their own unique chakra, which isn't the same as what we've always perceived chakras to be. Each person's is individual, and and they're connecting with that. So again, it's whatever crystal, chakra, angel resonates with you. And again, angels are archetypes,
Mm-hmm.
so the same angel can do loads of different things. The same crystals can do different things
Mm-hmm.
that another crystal can do. Everything can do exactly the same. It's
And
just our intention.
yeah, exactly. And then you take that with the person's unique frequency and their intention, and it makes a whole new recipe altogether to start again.
Yeah.
So yeah, so play and really explore your own frequency, because this is not about being a follower anymore to learn somebody else's modality. This is for us to birth our own new modalities, because we need that change for the new earth paradigm.
Exactly. And Eric's joined us. Hey everyone, hope everyone's doing well. We'll have to go back to this later. Bless you both. Thanks for coming in, Eric. I know you're a great supporter of this show, and yes, you will enjoy this. So please do answer the questions that we asked earlier, because we will be going back
Yes,
and checking
definitely.
that. And Shihara says, there we go. That so beautiful and powerful, ladies. So Archangel Michael and Gabriel with me, a sea of light with whales and dolphins all around me. Raised like language filled my heart and brought tears. So powerful. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Shihara. And Sue says, has anyone had a headache for the past couple of days?
I did a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you know about the head opening technique. If you put your fingers on your scalp and pull down all the way down your crown, down the back of your neck, it helps the scalp open up to receive more energy, and that can ease it. And the other technique is to do 3 fingers and hand on the back of your head, and holding that position can also ease any energetic inflows, to slow it down and make it easier to absorb.
Yep. And Sue says, been done lots of grounding yesterday. Yep. And again, what we were talking about earlier, all these energies, we have to bring them back into the here and now,
Mm.
into our physical realm now, so that we can bring that energy here onto Earth. That not only is benefit to us, but is of benefit to everyone around us and to Gaia herself.
Mm.
Because she needs that energy coming in as well. And if we're bringing it into us, we're bringing it into her.
Exactly. We're here to be of service to the planet, not to the detriment of ourselves. But if we think about that as a bigger image, then we're in alignment with everything then. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. And Sue says, thank you. Trudy, now, have you, if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
Okay, so being multidimensional, I haven't got a website because I can never settle on which dimension I wanted to be in. So I haven't worked that out yet. So the way to find me is social media. I'm on Instagram and Facebook. And I have two sides of me because this was in the days before I brought all of this together. So I have my White Star Soul Guidance for the higher dimensional soul exploration. But I also have a site called More Than a Dance page, where I do physical dancing with energy and energetic movements and playing with energies so that we can dance our way through the energetics and ground it through the body. So More Than a Dance and White Star Soul Guidance.
And what I'll do is I'll put the links in the comments, so you can literally go back and just click on the link and go to any of those pages that you want to. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I definitely had. And I thank you so much, Trudy, for sharing your wisdom and multidimensional stuff with us. It's been absolutely amazing having you on your show. Having you on the show, I've really enjoyed it. So thank you for coming on.
And thank you for doing a joint meditation. I love that. And that kind of collaboration is really multidimensional too. So that's perfect.
Exactly. See, everyone crosses into everyone's
Mhm.
lives for a reason, and to bring new energies and works in.
Yeah.
And of course, if you are now ready to remember your divine presence and step into your spiritual multidimensional path, but you feel lost, confused, stuck, or alone, then please feel free to connect with me and we can arrange a free video call to discuss where you are now and how you can move forward to take charge of your destiny so that you can spread your wings and soar. And of course, please feel free to join my weekly newsletter and receive a free future life progression recording where I take you into a future lifetime to get guidance and clarity that you can use in your current life, as well as a couple of other free gifts on there. And again, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny just like you. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe and hit that bell button to be notified when the show goes live or I post new guided meditations. And Trudy also has a YouTube channel, which I will also put the details on, that you can also go and subscribe and hit the bell notification. And before we go, Shihara says, thank you so much for this incredible experience, ladies. You're welcome, Shihara. Thank you for watching and joining in. Marta, thank you, Ray and Trudy, amazing energy together. And again, Marta, don't forget to put your details, contact details in the comments. And Marie Claire, thank you so much. That was beautiful. And again, thank you all for everyone who's joined in live or the replay. And we will be going back over comments. So if this is the replay, just type in hashtag replay, so we can pick it up and we'll come back and we'll answer anything that you've put on there. So again, thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Trudy. And
Thank
I look
you.
forward to seeing you all same time, same place next week. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.